Hello there, I'm Rev.
And I'm Sam.
And we're going around America's Great Loop aboard the Here's to Us.
Yeah, welcome to What Yacht to Do. And this time we're going to take you from the free dock in Sisters Creek near mile marker 738, Jacksonville. And we're going to go up to Fernandina Beach. It's kind of a short trip, but an important trip for us because we're finally getting to our original destination.
If you have never seen our channel before, we talk about going around America's Great Loop. And if that's something that you're interested in, subscribe and hit the bell so you'll get notified every time we put out a new video.
All right, so let's take them on the trip.
All right, let's go.
All right. Here we go, leaving the free dock at mile marker 738.
Right. The whole time, almost the whole time, it was daylight. There were fishermen and women all up and down that dock. There were families, and it was just cool to see people fishing there.
One thing the night before, you definitely want to have screens or one of those thermocells, to get rid of the no-see-ums. They are definitely out there. As soon as it turns dusk or something, they come out.
And look at that swamp. I just kept waiting to see an alligator swim out from there.
Yeah.
And come and visit us.
I think they call it grasslands. I don't really think it's technically a swamp, but grasslands.
In my imagination, I'm going to call it what I want to call it.
So we are going to make a turn to port here and rejoin the Intracoastal Waterway.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad we had the time here, even though, it was unplanned. I've got to really take a look in more detail at the waterway guide, nav alerts, the Bob 423. Plotted them on a charter, had imported them, actually picked them up on Navionics, exported them, put them into the plotter, and really studied things. And I'm so glad we did because we really had to proceed cautiously on this stretch.
As you can see, it's a gloomy, dreary, kind of slow day.
Yeah.
And the weather felt like, well, I don't know. I wouldn't say I was in a bad mood, but the weather didn't help.
Yeah, it was gloomy, rainy once in a while, windshield wipers off and on, and just kind of stayed steady. Eventually, there was a boat that hailed us coming behind us, a catamaran called Not a Cat, and they asked about our draft because they were kind of concerned, but they obviously had a little less draft than we did, so I suppose if we hit something, they wouldn't necessarily hit it. We led the way for them, and we talked to them a little bit about the tracks. So we felt pretty confident heading up this stretch.
Right. So we could see like a boat over on its side on the left. And then I know we were really watching the markers as we were coming up through here. Rain on the windows. As we got closer, I was like, oh, that doesn't look good at all.
Yeah.
And I don't know, what were you thinking?
I was thinking, yeah, what is that? And then we zoomed in on somebody had written something on top of the boat. I was thinking, what is that? And when you say it, it says, thanks for the dinghy. So maybe somebody who had procured, I guess, the dinghy from the boat decided, oh, that looks like that might be salvageable. Left them a thank you note.
Oh, so, you think that's what happened?
I think so.
Oh my God! Well, I couldn't imagine. I didn't. I mean, I didn't understand the joke, and I thought maybe that was a dinghy, compared to a big boat. So
and who knows what happened there? Whether they anchored somewhere and it broke loose, I don't know.
Yeah. Go get your boat.
Yeah, go get your boat. Yeah. So. Here we are.
Still
as far as
foggy.
Yeah, sorry. As far as bridge planning, there was really only 2 bridges on this route, and one was a fixed bridge.
That's Naughty Cat in the back.
Is it?
I was in the back taking a video because they had just called us. There were some lovely homes on this stretch on both sides, and just giant homes.
Yeah, I just kind of wonder
that boathouse
in a hurricane, what the flood stage might be for those homes. But I guess they've got it figured out.
Isn't that the inlet to get out to the Atlantic?
I believe so. Yeah, that's one of the inlets.
Yeah, we did not go that way. We kept on the ICW to get to Fernandina Beach.
Yeah, and like I was saying a little bit before, there's only 2 bridges here. One is a fixed bridge, and then right behind it is a swing bridge.
Yeah, so it seemed like when we saw these boathouses, they looked brand new. We knew some kind of hurricane had been through. Otherwise, why would you have brand new roofs on all those boathouses? It just seemed very unlikely. So that's what we were guessing at this point.
Now this area here was pretty challenging. You know, they put some extra markers out here because I guess they've had a lot of grounding, so we were proceeding cautiously.
And this was a surprise. It looks like some kind of resort or I don't
Maybe
know, a
just
clubhouse of something.
Big home? I
Yeah,
don't know.
the sign there says Crane Island. I guess cranes hang out there.
Yeah. And here's the bridge I was talking about, and right beyond that bridge, you can see there's a swing bridge, railroad bridge. The notes in the waterway guide say, well, if this bridge, if the train comes through here, you might have to wait as long as 30 minutes. So we were glad to see it open, and we got right through that swing bridge.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. You can see it's raining. Little closer view coming up to the bridge. Sam's got those wipers going. And the thing, if you look out, you would think that this was a cool day. But no, it was hot. It was muggy. It was rainy. It was just ready to get there.
Yeah, and thank goodness for the enclosed bridge. We stayed completely dry, you know, running the windshield wipers and had some windows open for ventilation. And the new fans that we bought were working pretty good. Just to kind of keep air moving.
We loaded up at Walmart on battery-operated fans. And by loaded up, I mean 2. I would have gotten 4 if I would have been by myself at the store. But
they're dual purpose. They have the AC adapter on them, and we ran them that way because they do work a little bit better, more power on AC.
Yeah. Well, that railroad bridge is a cool looking bridge. I am thankful that it was open.
And it's just really a short trip beyond this.
Looks like a restaurant there on that side.
Yeah, the Kingsley Bridge and the Kingsley Railroad Bridge is what this is, if you're following along on your chart. and after this, we're going to start really thinking about our docking, and we'll be in contact with the Marina. So we're going through some checklists there to get prepared, talking to them, which side are we going to tie up. And we'd never been to the Marina, so one of those things we wanted to try to get coordinated between Rev and myself.
Oh, yeah. These things.
Yeah, paper mill plants.
Okay, it was a little smelly, but as we got docked, it turned really smelly.
Yeah.
You know, different times of the day it smells. I don't even know how to explain it. But
yeah, one day you really kind of got a headache from it, didn't you?
Yeah, and other days I couldn't smell it at all. It was weird.
So I guess it's just the way the wind's blowing or what type of process that they're doing in this paper plant. Fernandina Harbor Marina is a beautiful marina. They were wiped out in one of the previous storms and have reoriented their docks, and it is just a wonderful dock, that long finger pier that comes out.
They do have a restaurant on site.
Yeah, Brett's Waterway Cafe, where we did.
It's really good.
Yeah, we had a drink there and kind of replanning and figure out what we're going to do. So we planned for one night, which turned into 2 nights because the next day after the one night, tried to start the engine and no start, and that's when we noticed the problem with the new battery. Had 2 blown caps on it, and we had no way of really continuing on without that. So we called the Marina, had done the work. They sent a new battery up, and during that process, the next day, we found out that neither one of the alternators was charging. And bottom line is that one of the alternators had failed a long time ago, and the second alternator was picking up the load on both, and now the second alternator failed, so we were dead in the water. So what we decided to do was, well, let's just stay for a week here, and we picked up the weekly rate, which saved us a little bit of money, you know, daily. So here we are at Fernandina Beach, which is not a bad place to be stuck, that's for sure.
Not at all. We did get to park next to this giant Bella Vita.
And here is the brand new, you can see these floating docks, and it is just fabulous. And I think about 30 foot deep on the where that big ship is over there. At least it seemed like they were drawing 30 feet or so. Oh yeah, quit wishing, let's go fishing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wouldn't you want to do that?
Mm-hmm.
This marina also had these tributes on park benches, and I just thought that was such a lovely thing to do. And it wasn't just one, it wasn't just two, but many, many. And then when we walked in the town, they had benches as well. It's just a very sweet tribute that this town's done.
Yeah, it's got great restaurants and just great ambiance and character. And one of our followers that found out that we were coming to Fernandina Beach were driving to Fernandina Beach for a week, and they reached out to us. So a shout out to Capel and Karen and daughter Emmeline.
Yeah.
We met them and we went to the A Million Tavern and had dinner and talked about the loop.
Yep.
And later they came on the boat to see,
Yeah.
because they're in the process of thinking about the loop.
But look at that, butterflies. And they have a historical tour that you can take yourself on. And I saw several homes. I particularly like this one because of what they had done to their front porch. But can you believe that?
That is just awesome.
That is cool looking.
Yeah.
So we could not get enough of it. It was, we were so thankful that we got stranded here instead of that wall in Sisters Creek without power. We really have enjoyed ourselves. We ate at Salty Pelican, the Marina seafood restaurant.
Yeah, which has a 50-year, history. Same family has owned it. Just fabulous. The coffee shop there. So it's just a really quaint town. Highly recommended.
Well, thanks for going along with us on our trip from Sisters Creek, finally, to Fernandina Beach.
And wouldn't you say, we're about ready to move on to another state. A state of mind and another state.
Yes, we've been in Florida since November?
Yeah.
Or I don't know. We've been in Florida a very long time.
But it's been very enjoyable.
Yes,
All
it
right.
has.
We'll see you next time on What Yacht to Do. Bye-bye.